Alright guys, this is one I've been waiting for a long time. We're going to get the Red Winch on the GQ. Now before we get this on the car, I just wanted to go through a couple of things with you. So you can get these in a few different configurations. It has the aux motor, it's got the standard width drum, just because, you know, I didn't want to modify that bull bar. Everything's legal on it. I've just got the hoops the way I like them, and it's just not something I wanted to mess with. Like, I'm happy with the length of rope, it's fine. They do have an air brake, so like with Warns, for example, when you let off the button, it still runs away for quite a bit. Whereas the air brake, you let off the button, they stop straight away. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, up to you, I guess, as a preference. That's why I'm trying this, because I've never used a Red Winch before. It's got air free spool built in from factory, and I did upgrade to the DC182 as opposed to the DC88 because I already run a 182 on this, and so I can just have one spare solenoid between both cars kind of thing. And so the gearing wise, these are available in a standard, which is 108:1. Worn in their stock form like mine is 134:1, so it will still outperform a stock Worn, but you can also get these in an overdrive, which is 61:1. I thought you had to buy one winch or the other. However, Cam from Roadrunner taught me that all I need to do is swap the pulleys around in order to change the ratio. So if I decide that 61:1 just doesn't have the torque to pull the car, then I can always change it back to 108 and it'll still be faster than the Worn. So I might crack the end off and we'll have a look at that together. You do have to use 2 bolts to pull this off, kind of like a TD timing gear, so they need to be about that long. So yeah, as I was saying, at the moment it's in the overdrive gearing because the small pulley's on the bottom. You can change that to the standard gearing by just changing these around. It'll go from 61:1 up to 108:1, and that's just a matter of swapping these pulleys around. But anyway, we'll get the cover back on and then we'll start getting it on the car. Alright, well that was pretty cool. At least I know how easy it is to change back to the other ratio. Let's get this bull bar off and then we can get the Worn out and we'll start getting this onto the car. I love these things so much. They make life a hell of a lot easier. Alright, so I'll get the positive and negative off the winch. They're both isolated, so they, like, you know, they can touch anything and that'll be fine. So I'll get the power and earth off. I've disconnected the breather, I've disconnected earth and positive, I've disconnected my light bar. Some are 18 and some are 17. And the bolts are 19. So I've got a block and tackle hooked up to the bar just to take the weight. Alright, very carefully I'll back out of there. That's the bull bar off. I think I'm also going to have to cut my grill a little bit more. I've got a funny feeling that the Cobra is longer across here, just judging by that there because of the air brake. So yeah, I'll do some measurements and maybe cut out the grill some more. But yeah, we'll get this bar sitting down on something. Easiest way to cut a winch rope is with a grinder. Alright, so what I might do is put a sling around the winch and then I'll take the weight up off it and unbolt it from the front. Trying to get holes lined up and everything, it's just so much easier if you've got a block and tackle. I'm really hoping that that bar's not going to fall off there, but anyway. Okay, well, there we have it. Might do some measurements and then work out how much of this grill I'm gonna have to cut out. And yeah, we'll go from there. Alright, I've made a few rough measurements. I'm basically going to have to do the same as this side over on this side, because on the Cobra, like, it goes that way more than it goes that way, and then the wall's the opposite, so everything that's cut out of this, I'm going to have to do out of this side. It's okay, this grill's ruined anyway, you know, I really don't care. Even if it wasn't ruined, like, grills just aren't really something that concerns me. Yeah, I think I might just neaten this one up square with that side, and then take a measurement and just do exactly the same thing on this side, just so both sides are the same. I'm tossing up whether to give that a whack with the black paint. That intercooler's so old, I wouldn't even care if I ruined it type thing, so I might just give that a coat with the black paint just to see what it looks like. If I hate it, I'll put a new intercooler in. Simple as that. Alright, I've just traced out like a bigger fair lead. One, because I want to use the Red Winch fair lead and it cuts over there. And two, because eventually I'm probably going to use a wider mouth fair lead just so you don't have the risk of, you know, the hook zipping in and binding everything up. I'm just going to drill a couple of holes. I'll cut it neatly so that there's no hard edges, and I'll die grind it out and that. Alright, nice round corners. Okay, I think it's time to get the Red Winch on the bar and the bar on the car. Alright, that was a bit of a shit fight, but I ended up having to make a new number plate bracket and I had to shorten the bolts and a few other things, but yeah, it's on now, so we'll keep cracking. If you've never used one of these before, I advise you get one. They are amazing. Alright, I'm very keen to get this on the car. I'm not going to be very happy if I go to put it on and I need more out of the grill or something, but we'll see how we go. Alright, just got to get some bolts back through the chassis, get these all lined up again and bolted up. That's pretty easy. And then we'll get to doing some wiring. Yeah, it looks pretty sick in there so far. Pretty happy with that. So yeah, a bit of a trick I found with these joins is to use a clamp to sort of get them in line. It can take a little bit of screwing around just to get them in the right angle on that. And then once you get one of the bolts in, the other one goes in pretty easy too. The last thing I need to do now is run the air line for the air brake. And so I've just gone into the manifold and I've started running the line under the car. In my service video, you could barely see anything that I was doing under there. So I might just do that and then I'll check back with you guys when it's all done up and we can buzz it in and out and see how it goes. All right, I was just wheeling the rope in and it picked up a bit of cut aluminium off the floor and sliced my hand. I think I've had enough for one night. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just leave it like this and come back to it tomorrow. But yeah, I'll show you how quick it is. So yeah, I can tell it's a lot quicker than the Warn. I have the choice between two ropes. I've got this red rope, it's by Carbon Off-Road, or I've got the sniper line that Roadrunner make, which is this stuff here. But whatever one I don't use, I'll chuck the other one on the other winch. I think I might use this one on this winch because I've got a little bit less of it. I think I've got about 30 meters of it, and this will only fit about 30-35 meters. Whereas this rope here, that might go on the Warn because I can fit more rope on the Warn, and this is about 40 meters. Yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there for the night and I'll catch you guys soon. So I'm here at Drew's and I'm just winding winch rope onto the drum. So I'll quickly show you what this plasma lock looks like that comes with the Red Winches. So these are actually really, really good. I've got my entire car on the way to this winch, for example, and all it's holding it on is that plasma lock. So I'll give you a look at it. One end is through that over there, and then it wraps around over the top of it, and then you go back through itself there, and that's what holds it on. It's real neat, doesn't take up any room, and yeah, it's just, you know, more room for more rope. So yeah, anyway, we'll get this wound on. Alright, so I'm out here one day after work. This track here, I know there's a part on it that's nice and wet, and so I reckon I'm probably gonna have to winch. I'm just out here by myself, not far from home. Gonna put both lockers on. This was really slippery last time I tried to do it. Hopefully I don't drive it because I want to be able to winch. But yeah, we'll see how we go anyway. Alright, that was second gear. I'll give third gear a go. Both lockers again. So yeah, that's about the best I can do in the middle of the week, sort of close to home. It's the only hill I know of that would challenge this car. I remember that hill because when I filmed my story of the GQ episode, it was at the top of that hill where I sat and talked about the car, and I only just drove up it then, twin locked, and now it's like, you know, the end of winter, and so you take the top off and it's just, there's no traction at all. So you only had to winch about 2 or 3 meters, but it was enough to see the winch perform. And yeah, hopefully in an upcoming trip episode, I'll be able to use it in anger again. But anyway, that's the Red Winch on the big girl. Thanks heaps for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.